Hey everybody, Triple G. Don't know if I'm gonna go with that, but it is catchy and straight to the point. Honestly, was not intentional for the channel name. As you can see, I have a cool mount, so I guess that probably counts for nothing. This is gonna be a quick recap of just the update and just some general points to note out for the, I believe it is the Nightling Invasion content launch for 20 to 25 for the level cap. So to begin, the first thing is, where is the actual place of the content? I know this sounds silly, but just for people who are curious for whatever reason, as when it first dropped on day one, I myself did not really get the memo to find it. It is over here. And just as a quick note for progression, basically you kind of loop around this area and essentially you will cross over to here. So this is endgame content. If you're below level 20, I would highly advise going here unless you have some good weapons. So that's the first part. Let's get to number 2. Hi, hello. It is I again on the same mount. Controller reconnected. Very enthusiastic for point 2, I think. So where is the rift? The rift is here, unless for some reason it spawns elsewhere, but I am 99.9% sure that it's here. Talitha Falls. As far as how you will get a notification, in the bottom left corner, the orange in-game text will pop up, and it'll basically say, yeah, you gotta get over here. One thing to note is that it is 20 players. I don't know if it will kick players out if it's beyond that, but I would just try to get there relatively quickly and try to interact and actually get in there. Now, you also do not need to group up, so if you just here and then get in the actual portal by the countdown, you should be good. I believe there are 2 bosses. I will say the mechanics are not particularly challenging, but you will get wiped a couple of times, but I would not insist, but just recommend clearing some content, getting some gear, possibly get to 23 just so you can get some more talent points. And I will go ahead and, of course, get to the next number, which is 3. Why, hello, it is I again on my Ladybug mount. I did the justice of switching mounts. Why? Not sure. So, again, for point 3, quick little XP spot. Not only is it an actual circle, so an actual loop, the enemies respawn, so here, get good levels, about, I believe, 79 to 89 XP. I think it is 79, so overall, good stuff. And something else is that, obviously, you can also, just as a little sub point here, is you can grind the spark dust, so specifically if you go ahead and look for enemies that have a darkened health bar or just a purple health bar, they will drop spark dust, and of course, as I try to find one, it does not exist. Oh, wait. So, yep, that is essentially the go-to looping spot. Happy grinding, get that spark dust, and I'll be back again for the next point with hopefully a different mount if the lag does not, I guess, stop it from equipping said mount. Okay, cool. Alright, it is I again, and I'm back. I was trying to do the Crimson Barracks for a different video concept. Overall, it went well, but the enjoyability not there. Here's the mount for no apparent reason. To add the talent points, so very quickly, obviously, my class is a warrior. Each class has a different actual skill, name, and or appearance, but fundamentally it seems like left tree, you got your DPS, or just your, I guess like the main kind of like power part. Far right, some sort of sustain. The middle is like your defense cooldown thing, but what I wanted to emphasize is that while these 5 points obviously are gained with each level from 20 to 25, I would like to point out that having the like even 1 extra point does make quite a bit of difference when you consider that some of these values might be based on 10 percentage points at a time. Just being able to have some sort of a sustain or just more of a hybrid like 80, 10, 10 or like the percentages. But yeah, let's get to the next point that I forgot about with a different mount. Why hello, it is I again, re-recording and getting off my mount. Back to the mount. As far as the jobs, my rogue does have all the jobs. For alchemist, I am at 5. In case you're wondering, 6 was the previous cap. Now it is up to 7. This is what it looks like for outfit, and just as a reminder, the upgrade, the arrow indicates that if you craft this, it will bump you up. Obviously, fragment of Nuon, failed wing, and tail slice. These are specific to the update. As far as jeweler, we got actually 4 pieces. For a quick pause, I will hover for 2 seconds. As for the enchanter, we have this. Honestly, kind of an interesting concept, but with Thornlace and other talent class specific things with healing, but maybe this is could scale a little bit different, and also it's not final combo attack, but that's better than nothing. Blacksmith, as you can see, using components for the update alchemy. I shall skip as I'm level 5, alas, but this is just the overview for what it does look like for this level. And then cook, we got ourselves an eye salad. Honestly, this is kind of, I don't want to say disturbing, but I guess, you know, the whole eye in your salad. But these are the components, and off to the next point, and possibly a mount for no reason. Great. So as far as the new tradable currency, which you can get by completing the rift, so essentially the rewards come from there based on the current sources in my experience. Right here would be the actual tradable spot for the in-game currency, so notice we're at the first obelisk. Now, while I could go into detail about these, and I probably could look things up, honestly, my 2 cents, not that you need to take my opinion here, is that this seems to be kind of a limited currency, so while it's not a bad idea to use it, for whatever reason, I would probably do some research on some of these items to see if it really can help you. Now, I will say that each recipe appears to have some sort of a usefulness in an other way, but here's the other one. Now, for this one, as you can see, there is a different mechanic as well for the actual like blood teardrop here. Now, I'm not entirely sure about this one, but if we're being honest, look, I think it comes down to maybe the drop is different per rift boss, if there are different bosses, but long story short, my observation is that these two are rift specific, as one of the currencies here is from the rift, so hopefully this helps, and back to the next point. Okay, so honestly, this one might not be needed, but all the bosses obviously are pretty self-explanatory. You have the boss icon here, right? I think it's a skull or just kind of like the marker, but this boss that I'm currently fighting is actually under, literally in the sewer. So just wanted to quickly point this out, as this could potentially be missed, but this would just be for the codex completion, or just basically knowing where it is, and that works. Okay, great. I had accidentally stumbled into this place, but there appears to be an underside to the update. It's here, Crimson Dip. I know this is kind of maybe not most helpful, but just in case for completion, it is here. There should be a chest in the background. So yeah, not super noticeable, pretty easy to explore. Just wanted to point that out. Like the Crimson Pit, just another part. This time it is just the pit. So essentially there is more stuff to explore around and under the city, but obviously you should probably prioritize the main exploration on ground and or above ground. So just to end on a final note, and I did fortunately fall down from the obelisk up there. Regarding the optimization, and this is not necessarily a content thing, it's just simply quite literally the graphics overlay and just how everything seems to flow. I will say in general the optimization can be a little bit funky at times. Honestly, the best experience I've had is essentially running these settings. Now, personally, I'm just having it in windowed just so I can manage the recording software, but I typically do borderless, and as far as this, it's just the same here except the environment details. Usually I'll keep on medium for a while. I kept on low, but I will say that for any updates, or if there's a server where maybe there are a lot of people for some reason, there's going to be some delay. But overall, enjoyable, but the optimization definitely needs to be addressed, although the game is in early access, so just wanted to touch base on that. I haven't really touched anything else here, but yeah. that would be the gist of the optimization. I wouldn't worry about it too much, but honestly, putting some of these on low can potentially help, but I don't know if it'll stop. So, yep, that would be it, and y'all take care. Thanks.